Welcome, friends. It's almost midnight, and you've found your way to the PikeCast. We've covered so many of the books of the most formative writer of our young adult days, Christopher Pike. But there's a new show in town. From the creator of The Haunting of Hill House and Midnight Mass comes the Netflix adaptation of The Midnight Club. For 10 weeks, we'll tackle one episode per podcast in a freewheeling and unbiased chat. So turn down the lights, pop some popcorn, and pull a blanket over you. And ready yourself for the PikeCast, The Midnight Club.
Greetings, fellow Pikers, and welcome to the PikeCast, The Midnight Club. I'm Cooper Beckett, and I'm thrilled to be joined by my lovely co-host.
Hi, I'm Cassie. Hi, I'm Becca.
We've switched formats to cover Mike Flanagan's 10-episode adaptation of The Midnight Club. And this week we are delving into episode 7, Anya. We're going to be going through the entire episode, but not beyond, so spoiler warning, up through episode 7. If you're enjoying the PikeCast, please leave us a review on the podcast service of your choice. So let's dive right in with episode 7, Anya. This one is directed by XL Carolyn, who is our lovely fan of our show, who wore the PikeCast shirt on the set.
Yes, that was cool.
And this is the episode that we saw the picture of her in the shirt with all the old characters. So that's also very cool. I've noticed this about Mike Flanagan's work. In each series, he has one episode that sort of does a single character, like, throws us off, we're not sure what's happening, and gives us something brand new. And this is the episode, Anya. So how long did it take the two of you to realize this was fake?
In the therapy session where she's like, does anyone else want to put in anything?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's kind of weird that nobody else is talking. But like,
Very true.
Yeah, it took like, sorry. My brain sometimes goes faster than my mouth. Anyway, like, the fact that, like, when she said that, that's when I, like, realized, like, hey, nobody has been talking this whole time.
Right.
So, that kind of clicked.
This is the one, too. It's written by Jamie Flanagan, so this was written by... Yeah, and I was, but I was, like, really excited on Twitter the other day and was talking about, like, how Season of Passage is still getting a thing, and I'm friends with Jamie on Twitter, and they commented and were like, yeah, don't hold your breath, basically. Like, that wasn't verbatim, but they were like, yeah, it's been stalled. Like, I'm really sad about it. And I was like, oh, no, I know. So, yeah, I'm hopefully there will be something there. But I remember when I saw the name on this episode, like when it was loading, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, I know that person. Like, I'm so excited. And it ended up being my favorite episode of the whole season.
Yeah, mine too. I don't want to brag, but I wrote down 1997 magazine ? At the very beginning, because the People magazine at the register is the hottest man from 1997. I'm pretty sure. And the show takes place in 1994. So.
Oh. So like Cooper, when you said not to brag, but there's a magazine, like I still don't think I get why the magazine.
I mean, I knew that it was off from the beginning.
Okay. I think I caught on
now.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't just assume. So I would have just assumed that they were just in the future, not that it was a dream.
Well,
like this was like years
later. They are in the future though, because like Anya's like they like did the ritual 2 years ago, which would be okay. That would be 4 years. Wait, I don't know how to count.
Maybe they were. So maybe it's currently for her in the dream, 1986, but they're picking like who's the hottest.
Yeah,
guy
that could be.
Year.
That could be
because that magazine sometimes like preemptively do something.
I don't know. Maybe it just struck me as, oh, it's this episode.
Okay. I think my brain is back on track.
Yeah.
I said, so when I started the episode, you're doing like this basic stuff and you're in like a supermarket. I was immediately like, no, I don't like this. This isn't creepy. I want to go back to the house. And so like, I was unsettled, but it was for a different reason. It was just because I'm also really picky about lighting, especially grocery stores that look too much like factory-ish. Like,
it's got the fluorescent lighting. Yes, it's designed to make you uncomfortable. The whole thing.
For me, deeply, like I would cry as a child and throw a temper tantrum till my mom would take me back to sit in the car and wait. So like, I really don't like it. So I saw that and I was like, nope, I don't like this. I don't like this. Get out of here. And then like, the more you go, it stays kind of like really lit. Like even when they're like in the therapy and stuff. And the rest of the show had been so like dark up till then. So that was the thing that made me like, more than like, you know, like the magazine or what they were saying, I was just like, something here is not right. Like this does not feel good.
So Anya also works at S-Mart, which is where Ash works in Army of Darkness.
Yeah, cute.
There's like little nods. Smart, I know. It's so much fun. Yeah.
And I'm pretty confident that was intentional.
I hope it
Me
was.
too.
We'll have to ask Jamie. So she goes home to her apartment, microwaves dinner, watches TV. It's this establishing of a new routine.
And that's what I call a cold case. Okay, sorry. I love that part so much.
Oh yeah, that TV show. What was the name of the show she was watching?
Law and Reprimand.
Yeah, Law and Reprimand.
I love it. It's so good. It's so good.
So Anya takes off her fake leg to go to sleep. This is the most time we have with that. There's a baby crying sort of upstairs, maybe just out there somewhere. And then at midnight on her radio, we hear, "I'm sorry, I won't be there for you." And it comes in just through static. So, I mean, that's okay, there's really something wrong here. Right?
This episode makes me emotional. I felt like getting emotional too. Just you're like, yeah, and then there's the radio. And I'm like, oh, please.
Oh yeah, I know.
My heart. That's why I wasn't going to rewatch it again right before this, because I did it last week and I was like, I can't. I mean, just cry.
It's easy to say this is the best episode thus far. I don't know if it's the standout of the series because I haven't finished it.
It is my standout.
But it is an exceptional episode here.
It made me like hard cry, so I feel like anything that makes me that sad. And to be fair, maybe it's a timing, you know, because sometimes I'm more inclined to cry than others. But if you get me in a good time, then you just solidified yourself as good to me in my head. And congrats, you got me at the right time.
Like that Bob's Burgers episode from last weekend.
Which one?
The Christmas episode?
Oh wait, is it a new episode?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I haven't seen within the last like several new episodes. I put on Fluise and go to sleep every single night.
Oh, Fluise is so good.
Every single night I fall asleep.
But the newest episode is probably the sweetest and most. Yeah, it's a Christmas episode.
I'm going to watch it today.
It's so like sweet and so emotional.
Oh, good. I love it.
And Louise focused.
Yes, she's my favorite. Every time we watch it, Rich is just like, that is literally you.
Okay, so we get back to S-Mart. Anya's talking to her supervisor, who's asked if she has any hobbies or goals. She had trouble at old jobs. There was 2 years with the program. So I'm assuming Alcoholics Anonymous?
This would have tipped me off if nothing else, because no manager at a job like this gives a shit what you do for your free time and your hobbies.
Very true.
Like that, I was just like, who's asking these questions? Nobody does this.
And then here's the big first tip-off. She's walking, and she goes past the game store.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That's when the Starlight Crystal. Remember I told you guys the Starlight Crystal poster?
Oh, yeah.
It's this episode.
Oh.
I want that poster so bad in my room. Like.
So she walks past the game store from which episode was that? What was that called?
It was Amesh's episode. See you later?
See you later, yeah. And then she walks past the ballet place from her episode.
The Two Danas.
With the devil. So really, we should start noticing. But you know what? A lot of people just go with the flow. Just like, okay, so this is interesting. And they don't think deeper. And that's kind of cool because then they get the twist reveal is more impressive for them.
I mean, to be fair, there's probably a lot of streets with a ballet studio and a video game store. Just throw that out there.
But when she's walking past it at one time, the Natsuki, she's standing there with her, like, in that costume from the Scream episode.
Yeah.
And her back is turned. And you just see, like, the back of her head. And it's not even, like, the girl doesn't even notice her when she's walking by. But I saw her and I was like, something's going to happen. Like, I was so prepared after the jump scare episode. Like,
I definitely didn't notice that in the beginning.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
wild.
That, and then when Dusty or whatever, like, the guy comes out, but he's got, like, the hammer from the hardware store, and she's like, wait a fucking minute.
See, I remember that, but I thought that was, like, later in the episode.
That is later in the episode.
Oh, is it? It's just when she's walking. Sorry,
No, it's okay.
I'm all over the place.
It's okay.
So she has this moment that's really kind of heartbreaking where she tries to do the ballet move while she's watching the ballet practice and can't.
It's so sad.
And then we have the dinner and the no, it's Order and Reprimand. That's the name of the show.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's watching that again, and then the midnight radio happens to those before and those after.
Okay, but listen, you're missing something really important. Are you forgetting the part where he now says that these kids might not have been drunk, but they sure did get hammered?
I didn't hear that.
I want to watch a whole side thing that's just that show and like hear all the funny things they say. Like, I love when you're playing games or watching movies and they have those little hints of like side books or side TV shows or movie posters that like kind of align with reality, but it's like a little bit off. Like, it's my favorite thing because I'm like, I know that thing, but that's funny. Like, I get what you're doing there. You clever
It was really
person.
cute.
Yeah.
So then Anya is at her own group and nobody is talking except her. She's talking about looking back at her time at the hospice. She got really sick, but then got better. Instead of feeling saved, she felt chewed up and spit out and doesn't know what happened to the rest of the Midnight Club. And here's where she sees a guy with a hammer.
Oh, yeah. Here's where I come in.
On her way home. So it's not Dusty yet. We just see a guy with a hammer.
Yes. Yeah.
Apparently it's Cassie, because she said that's when she comes on.
Well, just because I was like, oh, hammer, I know this one. We're going to get some roach business.
With a hammer.
So she calls Rhett, an ex-boyfriend, I guess. Do you remember the backstory of this guy?
Yeah, he's the person that she started. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say I thought they were just besties, but go ahead. You tell the whole story.
No, yeah, they were like super close best friends. Remember when she was telling her story in the two Danas, it was like a comparison for herself in how like she ended up getting hurt and pushing people away and doing drugs. And he was like her friend through everything. But then eventually he reached a point where he was like, I cannot fucking do this with you. You're literally like ruining your life and hurting yourself. Like, you're fucking me over. Like, so he just like cut contact with her as his choice. And so now this is her like contacting him again after being sick and getting better and now being in therapy. And she's just like, yo, what up? And he's like, what the fuck do you want? You know, like, yeah.
And this is a really heartbreaking moment because she just wants him to tell her it's all going to be okay because a voice in her head is telling her you're broken. And Rhett just hangs up on her.
Which, to be fair, there's probably years of him being hurt and stuff.
I'm not blaming him. It's still just heartbreaking that Anya is reaching out.
Yeah.
Like desperate, because Anya is not someone who reaches out. She takes it all on herself. And so to have her reach out and just be shut down like that is rough.
Yeah.
Again, we hear the baby crying upstairs. And the Midnight Radio now is talking about seen or unseen. So we're getting closer. Back in her group, we hear that her friends aren't here anymore. So I think they're dead in this timeline. They talk again about spontaneous regression, which should be perking up our ears that she is regressing in some way here. But worked for her, didn't work for them. They're all dead. Ilonka made it to 96. And if they were here, they'd be telling her she doesn't have to hate herself. But this is where she's upset that nobody else is talking.
Wait, did you say 96 though?
Yes, Ilonka died in 96.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She didn't even get to see the fucking hottest guy of 1997.
No, she didn't. Well, I mean, I don't know when in 96.
Oh, okay, fair.
That's unfortunate. That'd be sad
so
if I didn't know.
Here's the big one that if you're not ready yet for this to come unraveled, at the checkout, a bloody hammer comes through. A bloody hammer with hair stuck on it.
Yes.
Others don't see it as a bloody hammer. They just see it as a hammer. And after Anya freaks out, her supervisor comes in. No, don't worry. I'll get a price check on this. Yeah, it's
because that's the problem.
Yeah. So we go outside, and she sees a mesh in the video game store, but it's Luke, and Natsuki is Becky.
This is the poster part.
Oh, this is where you see the
right
poster?
Inside when she walks inside the store. It's right, like if you're facing the door from inside the store, it's to the left of the door. But when you walk inside, it's right to your right.
I got to go back and look.
It's just the book cover without words. But I swear, if anybody's listening and knows how I can get a legit copy of it that I can support the movie or the show or the people who made it in some way.
Let's be clear, you probably can't do that. But if you
maybe they have it. Look, if somebody's listening who worked on the set and you have that poster, please, I'll give you my address and I want you. I was trying to say it without saying it, Cooper, but if you're going to force my hand, please.
I mean, I was going to say we could probably create such things. That was all I'm saying.
That. I make my own posters. I want the fancy, you
can't
see
I understand.
my hands, but I'm doing the chef's kiss like up to the sky. I want the fancy. I want that poster so bad.
Well.
Yeah. Don't cut that part out. I need them to know.
Okay, no, I won't cut it out. So we wind up seeing Stanton. Then we see creepy Natsuki from the jump scares.
Yes.
Way back at the beginning. Then we see Ilonka running out of the store and is immediately killed with a hammer by Kevin.
Oh, so that's the interesting thing too, because this is where it starts getting really fuckery, because she's like, she comes out as the girl from Witch, but then when she gets hit in the hammer, she immediately turns into Sheila from Wicked Heart.
Yeah.
Which is so good. Like there's I
am a sucker for a fake reality collapsing.
Yes. It's so good.
And that's exactly what's happening here. Because
it's like all the different things.
Anya sees herself as a ballerina in With the Devil. And then she sees Spence in the scuba suit in the bath.
Give me a kiss, yes.
I forgot the name of the character. Comes in and shoots her. Is it Sandra?
Sandra.
Yeah, Sandra.
Yeah, sorry. I thought her name started with Steve for some reason. I was blanking it.
Yeah. Well, there's too many characters.
There are a lot of characters.
So Sandra comes, and the characters play other people.
Yeah, that's why it's confusing, especially because it's like I remember some of the names from the books, but then some of them you change.
It is incredibly confusing because the characters are renamed from the book and then are playing additional characters in each episode.
Yes. Yeah, it's very fun.
Whew, it's a lot. So she wakes up in bed to this drippy black oil hole in the ceiling. And this is a fascinating moment. First, it shows a baby crying, and then the baby becomes a young woman, and then the young woman becomes an old woman, and then the old woman becomes a skeleton reaching for her. It's more subtle than that. Like the shift between them was subtle enough that I was like, is this actually happening, or am I just am I putting that on it myself?
I was going to say I was mad at myself for not noticing that until you said it was subtle, because I was like, I did not see
it's very subtle, and it's dark also. So
right, okay.
If you don't have a bright enough TV, you might not see it even.
Oh, I thought, okay, I saw it, but I thought, is it supposed to be, it's like her seeing her life like flash.
I think so, yeah.
Right, okay, that's what I thought.
Or just life in general.
Yeah. They're deep.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could like pick up on these things.
Well, I mean, also rewatching will get you a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So, like, if you watch every episode twice, you're going to wind up coming out with a lot more information.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I did watch this twice.
Okay, well,
I was gonna say. So what I do is I watch it the first hard time, and then the second time I kind of like I watch it and then I skip 15 seconds, and then I watch it and then I skip 15 seconds because that's the ones we're doing right before we record. So like any parts that I remember as being like the emotional and like the long talkative parts, but like there's a lot of time where they're just walking through a hallway, and Homegirl's not going to sit for that while I have to record a podcast after.
Right.
Like it's good in the moment for the first watch. I was like immersed, but when I'm like, okay, I need to pick out things to actually discuss, it's a little bit of a different viewing experience. So maybe that's why, like, because when I'm watching it, Becca, I'm like intentionally thinking like, oh, this is cool. Like maybe I can mention this and help. So yeah, don't feel bad or think that you're not just like picking up. Remember we've already established too that you're more like the kind of person who's just like, I'm here for a good fucking time.
Yeah, and we are still very impressed with that because I literally can't do that.
I wish you could. It's fun.
Yeah, no, same. My brain's like, haha, that 3 is purple, y'all, and you're just like, what? What 3? What? I was just looking at the blood and cool stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, I missed the blood and cool stuff. I was looking at the blue 3.
Yeah. Like my partner will often be watching something with me, and I'll pause it to tell her, oh, look at this is metaphorical because of it. And she's like, can we just watch it? Can we just not, please? So yeah, don't worry, Becca. You've got the right idea.
I think me and your partner should watch TV together.
Probably. I think you would both enjoy watching stuff together. So midnight, Ilonka comes on, and here's where we get confirmation. She is broadcasting live from the hallway because Stanton went nuclear, and they're not allowed in the library, but they've been okayed to have Midnight Club outside Anya's room. And Anya is in the recovery room, we called it, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. But they're talking to her on the intercom. So Natsuki wrote something specifically for Anya about what happened in the future. So Anya vanished after the ritual, but comes back. They get a place together forever. She takes dancing again. Rhett shows up. They move in together. They get married. They have kids, a dog, a pink Jeep with a skull on the hood. How about that?
Yes, so good.
We love that.
And everyone else bought houses on the block, so they all grow old together.
The dream.
Yeah.
A small little community of friends and houses and potlucks. What a good time. Like, and I'm not even trying to say, like, let's start a cult, but I'm just saying, like, the people in the olden days who lived in a small little village, they had the right idea.
I mean, that is the best part about a cult right there.
Not any of the weird stuff. I just want the good part.
No, if you take Nexium and you take all the bad shit out and the sex trafficking, it's just a whole bunch of people living in the same neighborhood. And that's great.
That's very great. Yeah. Loves that.
But obviously you can't take out the sex trafficking and the bad stuff. So, I'm not pro Nexium anyone who's out there at all. Just saying Keith Raniere is a monster. So Ilonka stays late to apologize that the ritual didn't work. And she says, we're all with you in there. And then we see inside with Anya, and they are all there in spirit.
My heart, because they're all crowding around, sitting with her, giving her those good looks of solidarity. It really, that's the part. Look, I literally cannot get through that scene. I will not watch the episode, and then I'll just like cut straight to that scene, and it doesn't even matter. I'll just start crying because it's on. Like they're so nice, and like you can just hear like, and it cuts. I think it's so interesting too because it's so impactful because it cuts from her looking healthy and crying and like being sad on her bed in this nice room in her new life to being sick in the same room that she's actually in, and it's just like so jarring and so like. Oh, my heart. This episode makes me so sad.
Well, that's kind of the moment that I knew for sure she was going to be dead by the end of the episode because they're not coming back from this.
This is definitively final.
Yeah. Before we get to that point, though, we're going to take a break.
Ooh.
Because it's going to be rough. So we'll be right back with more of the PikeCast.
Friends, where else can you get this kind of programming than the PikeCast? Nowhere. That's where. but we're trying to keep the lights on here. If you like what you're hearing and want it to keep happening, jump over to our Patreon at thepikecast.com/Patreon and throw us a few bucks to join our private Discord server. Higher tiers get books, stickers, bookmarks, and even personalized shirts. That's thepikecast.com/Patreon.
Once, Osgood and Frost were the up-and-coming stars of the burgeoning paranormal investigation TV show craze before a hoax put an end to their friendship, partnership, and television careers. Now, over a decade later, Prudence Osgood is a barely functioning alcoholic ghost hunter for hire. Her yearning for mystery and adventure is reignited when she receives a cryptic, untraceable email. She can't resist embarking on an investigation that tugs threads, winding through a sinister series of disappearances, her former partner's family, and a night 20 years ago when a semi blew a yellow light and nearly killed her. Reviewers are calling Osgood Is Gone a masterfully vulnerable and relatable 21st century horror story, and a bourbon-soaked supernatural mystery with sparkling dialogue that sticks the landing on LGBT characters, and main character Prudence Osgood, as tortured as she is clever, broken in all the best ways, and a true heroine for our times. Buy it today at Osgood Is Gone as a paperback, ebook, or audiobook narrated by me, JJ Ronvier.
Welcome back to the PikeCast. Now we have the unfortunate moment where we have to say that Anya is going to die. She wakes up in the hospice as Ilonka says goodbye to her, and then she dies. And that's a rough moment because, as we've talked about, Ruth Codd is amazing. And her intensity and her performance really has anchored this show. And now we lose her. Yeah, either of you have anything you want to say about
I'm too busy crying, Cooper.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it is really sad and it sucks. And I think the other characters, like, I'm not saying they're not good and the actors aren't good or anything, but she just was like so much more of a spitfire. And like when she was on screen, like no matter what else was going on, like you're super focused on her. And like sometimes when other people are on, I'm focused on other things. So I really liked that about her scenes. And I did not want that to be a thing that ever stopped in the show, but I understand it. And it was very impactful the way it was done.
Well, yeah. We have a lot of problems with Joss Whedon these days, but one thing he was really good at was ripping your heart out.
That's true. That's the
knowing
body.
Which character to kill to exert maximum pain on his audience.
Yeah, it wasn't even just like that he picked the right character so much as just that like the way that it was done too, and like how it impacted the character. Like even if it was just like a side character you didn't really give a shit about, it was, or not to say Buffy's mom you don't care about, but like a side character that you don't care as much about, when you see the way the other characters are dealing with it and having to struggle with it, that's the part. Like I think it's Willow when she's Anya when she's doing the rant about how she doesn't understand, right?
Yeah
that like really got me, and that I was just like, oh my god. And like she doesn't even really know, like Buffy's mom or like these people, and she's like anyways, I'm ranting about another show. I really love Buffy also. But I do see what you're saying, and I agree with you. And I think that there are a lot of shows that go for that and try to make it impactful, especially like there are shows that I've seen that have been on for like 4 seasons and they try to do that and it does not work as effectively. And this show is like 7 episodes in and I'm like sobbing. So it's really, really well done for whatever everybody else does.
And it is a testament to the performance. It is a testament to the writing of the character because it is only 7 episodes and we care enough that it is really rough. So that's well done.
Clapping.
Yes. We get Robert Longstreet again as the apparently only responsible for changing the sheets of dead people, janitor. They trade quotes with Ilonka. One should die proudly when one can no longer live proudly. I like that one. Then we get down to the most important quote, which is fuck cancer. And I think we all can agree with that.
It's true.
Anya left everything to Ilonka. We don't know exactly what that means, but she left money and other things to Ilonka. And Ilonka doesn't want it. But Stanton gives her the ashes as well. So if we were thinking at any point, it's like, oh no, this is good. This is a fake out. Anya's going to be back. No, here are her ashes. She is dead. Period. Yeah. So then Ilonka goes to visit Shasta. And I gotta say, every time this character shows up, I like her less.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, same. Nothing against the actress or anything, but I just, as a character.
Oh, no. Her Samantha Sloyan is wonderful.
She is. She's very good. Especially making me not like her.
Yeah, she is good. Not like her. Even more so in Midnight Mass. So if anyone hasn't seen Midnight Mass, it is excellent and worth watching.
There's so many shows to watch.
Oh, well, yes.
I know, I've got like a whole list, man. If only we didn't have to sleep.
Right.
So we find out about the hourglass tattoo. The shaded in upward-facing triangle is earth, and the empty downward-facing triangle is air. And it also means as above, so below. I'm so annoyed with this character.
Cooper's just watching. He's like, I don't give a fuck about your tattoo. Get off the screen!
So we talk about Legends of Healing, Phil Speaks Woods, and that she is a naturopathic collective with her people there. And
they're just hippies.
They are just a bunch of hippies who are selling products. And Good Humor is a company that makes ice cream bars.
I was going to say ice cream, bro. Yeah. I know all about them.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it sounded familiar, but I thought it was like made up. So wait, did they?
Well, I mean, they're not a real company, no? So. Okay, so Ilonka is looking through all of Anya's stuff that was left for her. And she finds Rhett's phone number. She calls him, but the number is out of service. So that's also very sad because, like, she can't even tell Rhett that Anya has died, which is sad. We get a brief visit from Budget Jim Hopper.
Love him.
Stepdad Tim shows up really briefly to give Ilonka a hug.
Wait, his name is Tim?
Tim, yeah.
And Hopper's name is Jim?
Well,
yeah.
Oh, did they do that on purpose? That's so good.
I have no idea.
I hope they did that on purpose because he really does look like him.
And speaking of Hopper, I won't derail us, but if you enjoy Die Hard and Christmas movies, but we saw Violent Night last weekend, and it is like if you ever were watching Die Hard and wishing that John McClane was Santa Claus, like really Santa Claus, that's what it is.
I'm going to watch it.
It's amazing.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to watch that, and then I'm going to watch the Bob's Burgers Recent Christmas.
Yes, both of them.
A good time.
It's a great Christmas season this year. So at the Midnight Club, Ilonka opens a letter from Anya. It's about if anyone can send a sign from the other side, I'm the bitch, I'll fucking do it. If you're reading this and didn't hear back, relax. It's all oblivion. And yeah, that comes up for me a lot because I am an atheist and I don't believe in life after death. And so when I get worried about it, the idea that it is just nothing, and that's okay because it's nothing. Nothing doesn't hurt. Nothing. It's not even sleeping. It's just nothing. So Yeah, I know that's a bummer.
Is like
but that is
the root of all my anxiety. So thank you, Cooper.
Well, sorry.
It's okay.
I love because Becca, you are religious, right?
So
or like you believe in heaven and like that sort of thing.
I'm pretty chill, you know.
I wasn't trying to put you on spot. I just mean it's funny because Cooper's so adamantly no, there's nothing. And me, I don't I'm not religious, but I believe in energy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there is nothing. I'm saying I believe that there's nothing.
No. Yeah, no. And I do get the distinction. I'm just saying I believe that when I die, my energy will become part of the energy that is already in the world. I'm not going to die exactly, but I will just be part of, and then I imagine Becca who there's maybe a little bit more traditional, not in a bad, I'm not saying anything negative at all. I'm just, so it's just three, we're so different, not in just how we watch the shows and stuff or the books or anything, but it's just even base fundamental things. It's so funny to me.
For me, it's
we all have these different perspectives.
That's what makes us a great trio because we don't all have the exact same.
But the very important stuff we do agree on.
I think for the main part, my thing is just I'm hopeful that there's something. Because I have really bad anxiety and death is really terrifying, obviously. And I mean, I believe in okay, for me, it's I am raised in a very Christian family. My mom is super religious. But for me, it's mainly I'm gonna do what the Bible tells me to do in terms of don't kill anyone or whatever. The commandments, the be nice to other people, treat people how you want to be treated. I'm strongly into that. I wouldn't say that I put my eggs in one basket, I guess. If that makes sense.
Well, I mean, you wanting to believe that's a very strong thing, and I always said I wanted to start the be nice religion.
Yeah.
And the only tenet is be nice.
That's exactly how I want to live.
Because that covers everything. Don't murder. Murderers aren't nice. See. So just be nice.
That's exactly how I feel about it.
My religion is the do no harm but take no shit religion. So mine is a little bit more aggressive, I think. Just slightly. Oh
yeah, I'm with that. You can only be nice to a point.
Yeah, because if I'm still nice after a certain point, then I'm a fool.
Yeah, exactly.
I just like to be nice to everyone, and if there's a higher power, I don't think too hard on that part. It's more I hope maybe because I don't want to just die. It's not I'm one of those people that are I'm going to preach this to you. I strongly believe this. It's just I hope this is real,
Right. So this has been your religion on
yes.
Just be a good person. That's all that matters.
What does religion mean to you, Pikers?
And now we have to have a nice little twinkling music to an old school 90s or 80s video type
Oh yeah, but it's this is all wrong.
I also, just to throw this out there too, I used to study Buddhism big time, so that's a part of a strong part of my life too. It's my thoughts on that. I don't know, because I feel I'm so sorry I'm about to get into this, but I truly feel I don't know if this is offensive to anyone, maybe super religious Christian people, but I believe for the most part all religion is the same in terms of again, be a good person. That's all they want from you. And so it's it all boils down to that. So I feel maybe I just have different, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a mix of everything. You know what I'm saying? I believe it's all basically.
You are spiritual, if not religious.
That's the right way to put it. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, my cynicism about religion is entirely due to the bullshit that the Catholic Church does.
I completely agree.
That's I am rebelling against that bullshit. I really like when Ilonka toasts to Anya, who drinks no more. And that is a nice moment. And then Stanton shows up. And she almost has a Bond villain monologue thing. You think we don't know that all our patients sneak out? Why do you think there's always firewood here?
The way
that was so cute, though.
Oh, God.
No, I liked it a lot, yeah. And then
they don't even question it. They're just this is always how it works. How are you not questioning this? Who do you think's doing this?
But then she has a great line that the sounds of stories are the sounds of life. Which is really good.
Did it occur to either of you in this episode? I personally, as a person, would be so nervous if I knew that there were sick children in the room with a fire and I was going to sleep. I'd be like, what if something goes wrong? What if they all die randomly? Like everything
Well, apparently, don't they have a fireplace in each bedroom?
But I would advise them not to light it. I just don't feel like
probably.
It's very
no. I know in the next episode, Amesh and Natsuki sit by a fire.
Oh,
and it's not in the library.
No, you're right.
So I don't know if everybody's got a fire, but there's a lot of fireplaces in this place. But yeah, you're right.
Sounds like a fire hazard.
I would also be concerned with a bunch of kids lighting a fire in the middle of the night and drinking.
Yeah. And the fireplace thing is in Pike books, like especially with the two kids in front. Usually they're siblings and they don't know it and they're about to bone down, but I guess they couldn't fit that here in the show. It's true. Am I not right?
No, you're right. There are a lot of siblings
who don't know
who are
man?
About to have sex. Yeah. So all you really need is some alcohol poured on someone and someone catching fire, and you've got like the
part
Yes. You know, part of me too. It wonders. Yeah, it was. Part of me wonders if this was intentional. Like, and also the way that the characters are like have different names, like very much like Last Act. Like, although these books aren't always a part of the actual stories, like it feels like there were things that did influence the show overall.
Oh, sure.
Even still, that are very Pike-ish.
I think overall they were just like, look, let's put all the Pike we can into this.
Yes, I love that.
So Stanton doesn't know how to punish them for doing a ritual and possibly being involved in Anya's death speeding up, really, and tells them all to go to bed. But immediately, Ilonka refuses a very simple request. So they can give Anya a funeral on the beach. And Cherie plays cello, and they scatter her ashes to the seminal 1997 song, Good Riddance, by Green Day.
This is still in 1994?
97. Yes, this is from 1994. And if I didn't like that song so much and think that the scene was beautiful, I would be so angry that, again, they're just using any 90s song without any concern of the actual years.
Because 4s and 7s are so similar, Cooper, I'm telling you.
Anyway.
I understand the confusion for the people who are working on the show. I would have made the same mistake, possibly.
What did you think of the scene?
How did Cherie get that big ass cello down to the beach?
Yeah, we don't know what the path to the beach looks like here, so it does seem. I like to think one of the guys carried it for her.
Well, maybe Sandra.
Sure.
Or Sandra. So the rest head to bed, but Kevin and Ilonka stay on the beach. Ilonka, seeing how long it takes the water to make her numb. I'm just done with Ilonka.
Who does this when you're sick? Like it makes no sense to do this. It's a health risk. You're putting your own. You need to control your body temperature.
I mean, I guess she's in suicidal mode. I guess that's what we're expected to.
And so maybe that's
here.
It's not just that too, because it's like when you're in a lot of emotional pain, sometimes you do just like to feel something else.
Yeah.
So maybe she's speaking more to it. I'm trying to see how long it takes to make me feel numb. Like maybe she's trying to make the bad feeling she has go away.
Yeah.
So like maybe there's like something extra there, but just as it is, I was like, girl, get inside, you're sick. Put some socks on.
So Ilonka goes to kiss Kevin, but he pulls away. Yeah.
He has a girlfriend this time?
He has a girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, Ilonka, that is disrespectful.
Yes.
And she knows he has a girlfriend because she helped him get ready for prom.
Yeah, right. Psh, Ilonka girl. We don't love that.
Okay, I have a quote here, but I don't know who said it. Don't spin out. It doesn't matter. All of us are here. All of us here, we're already gone.
Kevin,
is that Kevin?
I think so.
Okay. It's a good quote, but I didn't write down who said it. I assumed it wasn't Ilonka because she's usually not that poignant.
We really don't like Ilonka, do we, Coop?
I am so done with her. Truly. So Stanton is listening to the most depressing song ever written, I think. Seasons in the Sun. If you don't know the song Seasons in the Sun, there's a line that says, goodbye, Papa, it's hard to die.
Papaya?
Papa.
Oh, sorry.
It's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. It's just a rough song. One time I was stuck on hold with Seasons in the Sun for like 6 minutes.
Why would they make that their hold music?
I don't know. I wanted to kill myself. Really, it was awful. Like it's a depressing as fuck song. And Stanton listens to that, then burns the diary. Heather Langenkamp is great here because she's having a breakdown over Anya's death. She makes a call possibly to her psychiatrist. She's crying for losing Anya. It hit her so hard. It's really just a great performance by her in this moment. And then we find that one of the kids is not terminal and is going home, which Ilonka overhears because she's always lurking.
Right.
Same.
She won't do anything that she's asked at all and is always lurking. And then immediately, as Ilonka is trying to run away so she doesn't get caught, she trips, alerting Stanton. I mean, fuck.
She's doing a really good job.
Okay. Can we also, though, just right before this happens, so there's a part where she is looking down the hall or something, and she sees Stanton coming toward her, so she goes to hide right next to Stan's office. She literally stands against the wall next to, like, a beam. Yeah. Like, she's not fucking hidden at all, and it kills me, because when I watch that every time, I'm like, how does Stanton not see her? You just need to look forward. Like, what the hell?
She's basically the equivalent of just covering her eyes.
Yes, it was like such a weird
hoping Stanton won't see her. It's just ridiculous.
It was really that part. Like, you know, there are some parts, the part where she hits him in the head with the credit card thing, and these two things are so goofy to me that I'm just like, Ilonka, I cannot handle you right now. Like, what the
fuck? So Ilonka goes back to bed finally. And the old woman is by Ilonka's bed and says, "Sweetheart, I'm hungry."
Sweetheart.
So, like I said, I watched this twice, and both times I jumped at the scene.
Me too, yeah.
And the scene after, well, it's the same scene.
Yeah, well, Ilonka rushes and hides in the bathroom, and the old man is in the mirror.
Darling.
Yeah.
Have you been practicing?
I'm doing fingers at the same time. You can't see that. They're like creepy little gremlin crabby fingers in front of me.
And Ilonka passes out.
Okay, and I guess that's getting into the next episode. Fuck.
Yes, we can't go next.
Okay, You're right.
So Ilonka passes out, and that's the episode.
It was scary. It's I love ending on a scare. That's fun.
I do too. But
after all the crying, Cooper, I needed it.
But this episode is about Anya.
I mean, but we have to transition to the next episode somehow.
She's gone. She's not coming back. Goodbye. Okay. Like, this is really solid. Like, guess we're not doing Anya anymore, darling. Like, I don't know why it goes more and more ET when I do. I can't do very deep. My voice doesn't do it.
Well, let's talk about best and worst moments of the episode.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot to love in this episode. Yeah,
I have a couple.
Who wants to go first? Because I bet we all have similar ones for best moments.
I got you, boo. Okay.
Okay, you get me.
So, there's this part at the very beginning, and when I say very beginning, I mean like right away, with the beeping that sounds like a heart monitor, but then it's like her scanning things. Like, I thought that was a neat little thing they did. But my favorite part is when she's walking down the street, and Dusty Shane walks by, and like, that whole scene where it's like, that's when everything starts collapsing, I think was my favorite part of the whole episode.
I think I love all the beautiful things in this episode and all the really emotional stuff. But the moment that stands out for me is when Ilonka walks out and is immediately brutally murdered by Kevin.
Yes.
Just because it's so sudden and surprising. Like, even if we think we know where it's going at this point, we did not expect that. And I like that a lot. How about you, Cassie?
Okay, I like that street when they're walking and all the scary people around and it's all the different books at once. And then, especially my favorite is when you go into the video game store and you've got that poster on the wall. That is the greatest poster. And if anybody knows what happened to that poster when you were filming, I would be so interested.
Just a hard sell from Cassie.
Yes, my favorite
poster.
Yes. Okay. And then also, so my other real favorite parts, the part where they're doing the end of their story in the hallway and then she's inside and they're like, we're all in there with you. And then she looks over and sees them. I literally cannot tell you how hard I cried. Like, there's no words. It fucked me up. And I was like, they're all there. Oh my God. Like, it was too much for, and I know, okay, logically they're separated by a door, so they're not that far from her. They're probably the same distance even, but like just seeing them all there smiling at her in that way, oh man, got my heart. And then, yeah, no, that's all my favorites.
No, so good.
Yes.
So worst moments. I'll go first.
Okay. Of course.
No, maybe I don't want to go first. I mean, I'm just so sick of Ilonka, but worst moment is probably, you know what? There's nothing really bad in this episode.
Oh, Cooper, I was hoping for something negative.
Yeah.
Like, I have problems with a lot of things that Ilonka does.
Yeah.
I do. But there's nothing egregiously bad in this episode at all.
I concur.
From my point of view. So, Cassie, you go.
I don't like when she stood against the wall.
Well, yes.
She was not hiding. That's not what hiding looks like. You're standing flat. That's how a child plays hide and seek.
I mean, maybe it's just telling us something about Ilonka.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. It's telling me, and I don't like it.
Yeah, but it's not the episode that made the mistake.
No.
It's actually the character.
Yeah, that's fair, because it's not even the actor or anything that I have an issue with. It's just like, you could have just given her a tall vase to stand behind, like, or a table. Like, there's so much on set that I feel like just having her run up to the wall just felt so silly to me. Like, I was like, does she really, like, surely she's gonna see her? Does she really think she's hiding? And then she doesn't see her, and I'm like, what happened? How did this get here? Like, it made me upset, like, confused.
I understand.
But I like the rest.
How about you, Becca?
I have nothing bad to say.
Nothing bad to say?
I'm the only one with a negative?
Do you want me to make something up?
No, if you don't really feel it in your heart, something worth ranting about, like her standing against that wall, I believe you.
It's a pretty good episode, my dude.
Yeah.
It's true. You know, I can't. It's my favorite episode, and my worst part is her hiding choice, I guess. We can't all play
which is not a big negative, honestly.
It's not. No, and I know I'm nitpicking, though. It's really not. Like, if the whole episode is great, my only problem is where she stood at one point in one scene. Like, come on.
I mean, honestly, my problem is that we're just spending time, we could have just spent the time with Stanton. It would have been okay. We didn't need Ilonka to be poorly hiding outside her office.
I feel like if it was just so I will say one thing to this, and as much as I love her, the actor of Heather, Langenkamp, is that how you say it? Okay, sorry, I didn't want to get it wrong. As much as I love her, I will say that this one scene felt very weird to me, in that it felt like she was not speaking to a real person on the other line. Like, it felt like she was just reading lines at that time. Like, not that she was doing it poorly. It's just, for me, it did, like, because usually you can hear, like, bah, 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 like something on the other line. And it felt completely dead. Like, she was speaking it only for the benefit of the viewer, which pulled me a little bit out of that. But I think the thing that kept me invested was because you could see Ilonka's reactions in between, like, her reacting to what's being said. So I think that's why I didn't mind. If it was just Stanton, I really think I would have disliked that scene quite a bit, just because it felt so like she wasn't really talking to another human. Because when she puts the Ilonka picture up on the wall, like, that was very, like, heartfelt to me. She has her, like, little cigarette, I think, or something. Like, she's just, like, you can tell she's, like, worn down and like affected. But then when she opens her mouth and starts speaking into the phone, that I was like,
well,
exactly.
I don't know. Yeah. And again, nothing against her.
Love her.
It's fine.
Heather, if you're listening, we stand you so well, please. We love you.
Why don't we move into the last act and wrap up with our final thoughts and ratings out of 5 pikes?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
What? Ooh, you said ooh.
shoot myself in the head. Sometimes it's so loud and annoying. I'm sorry. No. I just got excited because I thought about what I wanted my Pike extra.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, would you like to go first then?
Yes,
Cassie?
I would. Okay. I'm giving it 5 pikes, and then there's a conveyor belt like in a grocery store, and there's a bloody hammer with hair coming toward it, and also there's roaches on the tape on the thing.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes, because it's 5 stars, so I needed to have like extras because it's my favorite.
No, I get it. How about you, Becca?
Well, what I was going to say.
Oh, did I steal your hammer?
Well, I was going to be like 5 claw hammers needing a price check.
Damn it, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
That was you said it better than me. I ruined everything.
No, I liked yours. Wow. Yours was very detailed, bro. Like, it was good.
True.
I'm gonna keep my claw.
You can also do 5 claw hammers.
Keep the claw hammers.
Are they bloody and with hair on them?
Yeah, they're the exact same claw hammer that like happened.
5 times.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. I just got one.
They all need price checks.
Honestly, I am also going to give this episode 5.
Hammers?
No.
Oh.
5 black oil babies.
Ooh. Dripping
hanging from the ceiling crying.
Yes. Yeah. I would have gone with the black oiled old woman dripping because she was pretty grotesque. Yes, but the baby is very sweet. So
that's
Cooper's going with the sweeties.
Yeah, just creepy also. I find babies creepy.
Can that just be a clip? It's just me. Cooper's going for the cutie or the sweeties. He's just creepy also.
I love that.
Yes.
Do you ever think that Cooper's done with us?
Oh God, so much of the time. I literally, I imagine he's just sitting there with his forehead in his hand majority of the time, and he's like, will this bitch never shut up?
He's like, I regret the decision of making this podcast.
I know. He's like, we should never have done this. I'm never going to have my fucking day back.
Let me be clear. I love you too.
I love you to know.
I do enjoy podcasting with you, just in case it wasn't clear. Sometimes I try to keep us more focused. And yes, I do often play the dad on the podcast. But that's only because I know I'm editing it, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. You get forced into it, too, because we're just so giggly.
Well, that's the end for this episode of the PikeCast. Becca, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find you online?
Yes. So I am on Instagram as Read with Bex, where I talk about books. You can also follow me on my personal if you want, which is as Told by Bex. I'm on Twitter at as Told by Bex, TikTok at as Told by Bex. Sorry. I could have done this way easier. I'm sorry. My sister and I have created an Etsy shop where we make book sleeves and stickers and just like random things that we craft, and that can be found at Leaping Lily Creations.
Cassie, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ControlAltCassie, CTRLALTCASSIE, and I also have a Patreon and an Etsy, and my Etsy is shopletsgetgalactic.com. My Patreon is patreon.com/letsgetgalactic, and you can find lots of things like art, coloring books, other books. I am switching my shop to digital only for the first part of next year, but my Patreon still has physical stuff with a sticker club that goes out every month and an art club. So if you want any cool things, those are exclusives there. Please go sign up. Let's be friends. I like it. Woo!
And I can be found at Cooper S. Beckett, at coopersbeckett.com, and on all the social medias. Yeah.
See,
that's all I.
That'd be so much easier if I did. I wish I could do that.
I made a conscious choice to change everything to one, so I wouldn't have to worry about it ever again.
Well, that's smart.
Cassie, where can they find our show?
You can find us on all social media at the PikeCast. We'd really like it if you'd share your pictures of your books or your reaction videos or whatever to the show. You can use the hashtag #ShowUsYourPike, and we'll see it that way. You can also sign up to our Patreon at patreon.com/thepikecast, and by doing that, you'll get early access to our episodes, physical merch like bookmarks and stickers of things that we've made for the podcast, and you'll get access to our special Discord channel where we get to talk about all things Pike and more. Yay!
Yay! Okay, listeners, your homework for next time is Episode 8, Road to Nowhere. Until then, Pikers, pleasant dreams.
darling.
I love it.
You survived the night, friends. You can peek out from under your covers and see the first blues of dawn out the window. Thanks for spending the night with the PikeCast, and we hope you'll join us again next time. Until then, Pikers, pleasant dreams.
I don't even know what next scene is.
I was gonna look. The only thing I know is that the girl from Smallville, the two girls from Smallville got
and one of the ones from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, and so they were involved somehow, and it was in the news that like these famous people are in league with these bad people, a cult, and I was like, "Whoa, Smallville girls, what are you doing? Where is Clark Kent when you need him?" Like,
if you like true crime cult stuff, The Vow on HBO.
Sorry, no, that's Sandra Bullock. I think that's a different thing. That's totally Ryan Reynolds. I think that is also really good, though. Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Is it called The Vow?
Are you talking about the movie about a wedding?
I don't know.
Yes, and like it's Sandra Bullock, and she goes, and I think she's like in the woods at some point, and I'm gonna have to look this up and confer with you all later.
Just to be clear, I am talking about a series on HBO about a documentary series about a cult.
Oh, you guys, I need to just be clear. Apparently, The Vow is Rachel McAdams. I don't know. The Proposal, that's Sandra Bullock. Okay, I mean, I'm all fucked up. I'm so sorry.
I might be talking true crime, but I'll take your rom-com Rex any day.
Okay, yes, The Proposal is actually, I haven't seen it in years, but I remember it being very funny because I love a good Sandy B movie, and it always makes me laugh because one time we found this thing on the internet, and it was this really old dude, and it showed his Google search interest, history, and like this just old guy, and he looked for, what was it, Sandra B. Booby, or something like that. Like, he just Googled something so fucking stupid, like naked booby, like that he Googled, and it's just like, what are you doing, old man? So I think about that every time. Anyways, yeah, I'm really sorry. It's because The Vow, I thought it was The Proposal, but it's apparently The Vow is actually like a serious kind of romantic movie, maybe with Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams. I've never seen it, but I love Rachel McAdams.
I love that one.
That's also very good. Yes, it's classic. Okay, I'm sorry, Cooper.
It's okay. I will still recommend the documentary.
Oh, right. Yes. About the cults. Is it online like Netflix
HBO
or something?
It's on HBO Max.
I'm going to give you 3 names. Can you just tell me which one to watch? White Lotus, Euphoria, or the one that's getting removed from HBO, Westworld. Which of those 3 should I watch?
Euphoria.
I don't know anything about them.
Westworld,
I think that you would vibe with that.
I think you would, but it is very rough. Like,
somebody else told me that too.
Rough. Okay. White Lotus is dark, but it's funny.
It's funny. So that's like a comedy?
It's a drama comedy.
I like Aubrey Plaza, but I don't know anything about the show.
Well, Aubrey Plaza isn't in season 1, just so you know. It's Alexander Daddario. But the guy who plays the hotel manager in season 1 is absolutely amazing.
Okay, so there's a redeeming thing even.
Like, I mean, it's really good. But he's on another level. His performance is amazing. Aubrey Plaza is in season 2, as far as I know. I haven't watched season 2 yet. But Euphoria is excellent, but it is really, really rough.
Okay.
Did you see Assassination Nation?
No.
Okay.
I don't think I've heard of that.
It's by the same guy as Euphoria.
Oh, I don't really know anything about Euphoria. I've seen like screenshots of like memes and stuff from it, and I've seen like do your makeup like the girls from Euphoria tutorials. But I've never I don't know. Yeah. It's like drugs, right? That's what it's about.
It's drugs and sex. That's okay. Euphoria.
It's like kids, Skins UK, but like with that a lot.
Yeah, it's totally Skins.
Oh, yeah. I remember there's a girl named Cassie who has like an eating disorder or something in that show, right? Yes. Okay. I think I have seen parts of that show, and that is good frame of reference to know what I'm getting. What is Westworld then? Is that
Westworld is a
fantasy kind of thing,
a theme park. It's based on a Michael Crichton story. It's a theme park that's a Western theme park.
I lied about the fantasy.
Oh, what time is it set in?
They're robots.
Oh, it's future.
Yeah, it's future.
Oh shit, that sounds really okay. Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry to derail. I don't have any friends to ask actual questions to. And like Rich hasn't seen those things, so.
And if you need anything on Plex, now that they're removing things from everywhere, let me know.
That's why I wanted to watch it on HBO, but that's good to know. Like if I need to, I can just watch it there and not have to rush. But I am going to try to watch it because I want to cancel my HBO. So that's why I'm like, let me just watch these things.
I canceled my HBO this week.
Yeah, I'm probably.
Wait, what are they doing?
What they're doing?
It's gross.
They're just canceling shows like all over the place. Like
and then just removing them completely.
Minx got a season 2, and it shot, so it's done.
Wait, what show?
And they just canceled it.
Yeah, and that's why
Minx.
And that's why I want to watch Westworld, because they're going to be removing that completely from HBO, and they canceled it. Like season 4 ended, so they canceled it. And
it doesn't make any sense.
Do good, they said, but. Yeah, and like there are people saying like there's going to be like another streaming service that you can sign up for some of these things.
Right, it's like I have one too many, bro.
I'm not doing these anymore. Yeah. Okay, I'm so sorry for the derail. Thank you for the tips.
Also, very enjoyable is The Sex Lives of College Girls.
I'm sorry, is that a movie or are you just making a statement?
It's a show.
Oh, okay.
It's a show. Cassie, it's a show by Mindy Kaling.
I'm sorry, it's what?
It's by Mindy Kaling.
Oh, Office.
Yeah, she created it.
Okay.
And it's on HBO Max, but it's also on MyPlex.
Hang on, I'm writing it down. I'm not going to write down because that seems weird to write. Sex Lives of College Girls.
I know it's got the worst name ever, but it's really actually
when
a
you
very
said that, I tried to keep my face very straight because I was like, Cooper wouldn't be creepy with me. Like, I'm gonna just ask him point blank what he means by this because I don't understand where to go from here.
If I just randomly suggested in the middle of a conversation about TV shows that I like college girls, that would be the creepiest thing.
Or it's just like, what's really interesting? And I'm just like, is that I'm not familiar with that television show.
Yeah, that would be the creepiest thing ever. But no, I'm just recommending a TV show.
Okay, no, good. I got you. It says 4 on my list.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to it.
Okay.
Well, that is the end.
Oh, God, we're not done. Oh, shit.
No, you got to finish the episode.
I'm so sorry. Okay, let's go. Let's do this.
Well, that's the end for this episode of the PikeCast.